I'm holding mine the wrong way.
This is much better. No. What do you have today?
What book is that?
Today I have The Giving Tree.
Are you just gonna bring a different Dr. Seuss book every time now?
Every time.
I'm kind of here for it. I'm kind of here for it.
The book every time. Oh, I'm here for it.
Not this. Oh my lord.
Oh.
Bonjour. Is it giving tree mama? That's the question. Bonjour et bienvenue à la Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. I say something gay. And I feel very say something gay today because I'm drinking iced coffee. As usual, they messed up my Dunkin' order and literally didn't put any of the flavorings that I wanted in it. So it's Dunkin' cold brew plus my homemade cinnamon honey vanilla creamer that I'm making because I'm that gay now. And it's very good.
You're homosexual, stop it. And I'm Eris, your punk rock Carrie Fairy, reminding you to stream Mustache by Twin.
No. That's a horrible song.
For those of you out there know, it is a infamously disastrous Eurovision song by the French.
Horrible.
I can live for it. I'm sorry. It's bad in a cheesy way.
Is that it? Sure. Well, hello and hi. I am Lana, your resident diva, here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I loves me some tea. Her. So if you have some tea, you know what to do. Hit me up. And today I am doing a return, something that has not been back for a while, but now it's back again. I am drinking Strawberry Sunkiss because you know I love me some Strawberry Sunkiss. It's been a minute, but she is back. And so, yes, be prepared to see her in the next few episodes of our podcast because she's back, baby. And yeah, but if I was not drinking Strawberry Sunkiss, I would be drinking something out of my cup mug. I think I'm the only one that has it today because people are away from their cup mugs or just left it somewhere. Washed. But it's okay. I will represent for us all because that's what I do. You can get your cup mug at our lovely store, the Lana's Etsy shop at lanagcreations.etsy.com. And yes, we do ship internationally. So please don't think just because you are international, you can't get your own cup mug because you can. So check out my store, my Etsy shop, and get your cup merch, all of the cup merch, other things we have besides that, and other things that I have in my store. Check it out. Thank you.
Work. And hello, guys. It is me. It is I, Mr. Talented, your favorite guy. And today, I'm drinking a glass of ice water, not sponsored by Mother Let Loose, so we won't be needing the button.
Well, neither anyway.
That's
I'm
totally
still playing
fine.
The button.
As you should. This time sponsored by none other than Irene, the Alien Queen Dubois, because, making a glass of water for our talent show is very important, So,
And can you hear me?
Yeah, we can, loud and clear.
Okay, I've been having weird mic issues, but I'm David Healy, and I don't have a cute intro, but I do have a cute shirt.
Period.
I'm wearing my Bianca Del Rio shirt.
I know her.
Yes, not today, Satan. Yes, I'm out of town and I'm visiting a friend, but I am drinking. Hey, Logan, do you know where my drink is? Can you get? Thank you, Logan. I appreciate it.
The fucking century.
I hate you guys.
I hate y'all. I hate you guys.
It's a David Healy.
I hate you guys.
I love this, and I hate.
And I tell y'all, we spent easily 3 hours trying to figure out how to pull this off. Like it was an adventure and a half, but we figured it out. Yes. So we are together.
We love that.
Oh my god, that's so crazy. Wait,
I
let me
know
try.
this is so weird. Now you're in the
It's
Wait,
strange.
let me try.
I'm
No, that's a wall.
drinking an Arizona sweet tea.
about to say,
Even here.
Because I'm in Arizona.
let me walk over and see if I can join them too. Hold on. No, I'm at home. All right. But this is beautiful. I'm glad you guys are together. That's great.
Did y'all have any idea?
No.
No,
Oh,
because you were like, David's running late. And I was
David
like,
said he's
yeah.
falling to Dallas. That's what I heard.
So David's running late because he was like right here the whole time.
I was in Dallas when I told you I was in Dallas. I was just
Okay.
And then he flew to Tucson.
I love that. I love that for you guys. That's so great.
It's been lovely, but we're not here to talk about David and I being in the same room. We're here to talk about Drag Race France.
Yay!
Oh,
Our friends say, s'il vous plaît.
mhm.
Sometimes I do speak French,
Mhm.
maybe.
Oh, is that what that
Episode
means?
3,
Mhm.
an acting challenge that I thought was an acting challenge, but in fact is more just so an improv challenge.
Mhm. I don't know how I feel about this challenge, honestly.
Me either.
Oh, I do.
We
Oh,
know you.
I felt like it was a little flat for me. The whole thing, not like just one person, like the whole thing felt a little like we've seen it before. Like we've seen them do an improv of a news anchor show and all the different parts of a news show broadcast. I don't know. It just seems and I don't think maybe it's the translation. I will give it that because it possibly lost in translation for a few of the jokes, a few of the things maybe I just didn't understand. And as our lovely viewers point that out to us, let me know what I didn't understand, because if I don't know, I don't know. And if you don't tell me, I will still never know. So if you could let me know what I didn't miss, it just felt like it was a little flat for me. I enjoyed it, but I wasn't like super entertained by it, if that makes sense.
No, totally. I get that.
Honestly, in the same boat as you, Lana. And I just thought maybe it's because the British and the French like have a very different sense of humor. Like the British humor is really vulgar and just on the nose. Yeah, I didn't really get a lot of it. I mean, the person who made me laugh the most, we'll get into it when we discuss the challenge. Like, I felt like there was a lot of jokes that were in play. And what I'd also say is the challenge ran very long, like when we were actually watching it. I think they could have done with like maybe switching this challenge out for something else and doing it later.
It did feel like there was maybe like one too many characters. I don't know what character I would have necessarily taken out, but
I do.
Oh,
we'll talk about it.
And I oop.
Oh.
Well, I'll divulge when we talk about the challenge.
Oh, not that. So,
but before
unless you want me to just say it now. I mean, if we're talking about removing characters, she did get removed at the end of the episode.
Oh, well, okay. David, you were saying?
I was going to say, before we get too much into this episode, there's a few things from last week that I'd like to talk about.
Sure.
Thanks to the beautiful comments we got from people.
Yes.
Which, if you are watching this, please feel free to like, subscribe, and leave comments because I read them all. I respond.
Me too.
Me too.
But we got some interesting tea about some of the looks from last week.
Yes. Oh my God, thank you.
Yeah.
I did forget about that actually.
The main one I wanted to talk about is Mami Watta with her graffiti look. I love that look, if you all remember.
Me too.
But what we found out is that was actually supposed to be a wasp look.
Yes. Well, she said that on the show.
Yeah, she said that on the show.
Oh, did we talk about that last week?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The thing that we did not talk about was Vespi.
Yes.
And
yeah.
Vespi apparently did not get her look in time for this reveal runway. And so she had to improvise. So that's why some of us may have been a little bit underwhelmed, knowing that she just came up with that and tried to make it work at the last minute. I'm very impressed with her on that. So.
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't surprise me knowing that. It's unfortunate, and that seems to be a trend now with a lot of the girls. We've heard that from a lot of the Down Under girls, from at least the cast assessment situation. We've heard that from some of the Mexico queens as well. And it's just like, stop being disrespectful to our queens that are going on Drag Race. Like, hello?
Also, they need to give them more time before the show. I'm sorry. You need to give them at least like 2 months to prepare.
Yes.
Because I think season 2 Drag Race UK, at least as far as I know, they got about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And that was a 12-person cast, and that was a long fucking season. I mean, lockdown and things happen. But like, you look at people like Cherry Valentine's runway package, where she made so many amazing outfits, where she hand-stoned them, hand-painted, all of this. And then she gets sent home in the last thing she made before she came to Drag Race while she was suffering from burnout. After spending 6 weeks making outfits and also working as a nurse.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I will say, and this is on an All-Stars note, I do really love what All-Stars 8 is doing with the Fame Games and being able to show off the whole package. I don't necessarily love the way that the Fame Games has gone as a whole, and we'll talk about that in our All-Stars review, which is coming out later this coming week. But I think the idea of letting their girls show their full packages on Drag Race itself, I really enjoy that because they've spent so much time, money, and effort to do all of this for just the early out girls to not get that opportunity to show what they brought. So, but we start this episode. We did lose Vespi in a very unfortunate lip sync accident by Cookie Kunty. No, it was actually a really good lip sync, but Vespi's gone. Everyone's upset, specifically Piche. Piche is like, I'm so happy that I won, but also like my best friend going into this is now gone. And like the person that helped me start drag is now out of this competition. And I just don't know how to feel about that.
Sad times.
It sucks.
Yeah, I wanted to see more of Vespi as well because I feel like she probably had like a fucking fantastic runway package to present. I mean, the first episode, the Wasp look. Oh, I'm just and it's sad to see Piche like so torn up about it because one line that really stuck with me. She was like, "Oh, I don't feel like I can celebrate because I feel so guilty being here without her now."
Yeah, but such is the Drag Race experience, I guess. It's unfortunate, but yeah. So we come into the workroom the next day. Nikki walks in, and I just love how everyone is just so feral for Nikki Doll. I mean, myself included, if I'm being honest. But I'm just like, everyone is so just obsessed with what Nikki Doll is. I mean, she looked good this week, all around.
Right. That wig, we'll talk about it, but that wig.
We will discuss at length the wig she's wearing and the outfit for that matter. But we get a mini challenge. It's a good old reading challenge. Literally all 3 franchises this week gave us a reading challenge, which I loved.
I loved it too because I was like, "Oh, now I get to know how everybody says reading is fundamental in every different language. We have fundamental, fundamental, and fundamental. Like everybody was reading is
fundamental movement.
Fundamental. Yes.
Yeah, I thought we got some really good reads in this one. Like I was consistently laughing at pretty much all reads. I'm trying to think. Did anybody flop?
Mami Watta didn't do amazing.
Mami Watta didn't do great.
Yeah.
Kitty's face didn't do all that great, but there were laughs. My favorite read was Punani to Kitty's face just between April and June.
Yes, that was my favorite. Man, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I only just got that now.
That one just took me out. I was like, not between June. Man. I was like,
like, I've never heard that before, so I'm like, that's fun and new and different.
That's funny.
Because at this point, we just have so many recycled reads that it's like, oh, good, you put a spin on that read that I've heard 3 times before. Like, okay, cool. We do get a winner, and we get Piche winning. And I remember Piche being funny, but I don't remember any of their specific reads.
No, I probably would have gave it to Punani, honestly.
I would have gave it to Moon.
I agree. I think Moon was
so funny and adorable.
adorable. She was not that.
Funny.
She was adorable. She was sweet. I think Moon was. I don't think she was the funniest one for a read. I think she was too adorable for reads. Like she's adorable, and everything she says, I'm like,
She's
aww.
too cute and perfect to be reading people, but I
Right.
love what she does.
But
so
I loved her reactions to every read that she got. She was like, I have 2 blemishes. My skin is perfect. I was like,
and that's part of what I like in the reading challenge is when you can really like respond quickly and have
I mean, but she wasn't
something-
responding to them. She was responding to her confessionals, so
In the
she had time to think about those.
I'm just sad that no one made a joke about. I don't know if they have this brand of like hot chocolate in France.
Swiss Miss.
I was waiting for someone to call Moon a Swiss Miss.
I don't think they do.
Probably
That
not.
feels
They
very
probably
English
have
and
better
American.
instant chocolate over there.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, Piche wins. Good for Piche. Love it. Cool, I guess. And we find out that the maxi challenge for the week is the Croissant Show.
Also,
And the whole time I was just thinking of that TikTok, I went out and got a croissant. 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 I had one today, actually.
It reminded me of the challenge from season 9 with Naya Rivera.
Ah!
What was it called?
Good morning, bitches.
Good morning,
Good morning,
bitches.
bitches.
Yeah.
What was the other? There were 2 different teams, and they had Good Morning Bitches, and I forget what the other one was.
Well, I got real QNN vibes from this, going all the way back to season 3.
Not QNN.
QNN, Muma.
Prehistoric drag.
Burn my ass! I love it. I love Yada Sophia.
The
But,
barometric pressure.
The barometric pressure, it's here. Bad. So Piche gets to pick the parts. And the only real, like, not drama necessarily, but, like, moment is we get Punani and, who else wanted the news
Mami
anchor
Watta.
part? Mami Watta. They both wanted the news anchor part. And then Piche was like, but I also want the news anchor part. So I'm going to take it, and I want to do it with one of the 2 of you. And we'll talk about who she does it with. But we go very quickly to rehearsals. Like, there's not there wasn't really any fluff in this episode, which I appreciated. Mostly because I think the challenge went like 15 minutes. So I get it. But we're in recording. It's with Nikki and Daphne. And then we end up finding out that Daphne is actually part of Sarah's interview.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I find interesting is I'm gonna juxtapose for a second Sarah's performance with Mami Watta's performance. Because when Sarah was doing the interview, Nikki was like, I need you to be more sexual. Like, try being more sexual.
Mm-hmm.
We go to Mami Watta's, and she comes out the gate, this sexual ass bitch. They're like, but rein it in a little bit. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean?
Right.
Like,
It felt very like the directions were all over the place. Like you told Piche, you know, bring it down some, relax a little bit, calm down a little bit. You're too much. And then Sarah, you're not being sexual enough. Like give me more, give me more. Then Mami Watta, ooh, you're too sexual. Like what?
Right.
What?
it feels like ultimately the winner of this challenge is the person that listened to the judges' critiques in the moment the best.
It feels like to me, the person who won is the person they wanted to win, because that's what they directed them to do. And it was like, then when they did it, it wasn't enough. Like when Mami Watta did what you told her to do, and when Piche did what you told her to do, then they didn't give their all in the challenge. They could have done more. But like you told me to rein it in. So I reined it in, but now it's not enough. You told Sara Forever exactly what you wanted her to do. She did it, and therefore she wins. Spoiler alert. So I'm like, not that I mind, because Sara Forever.
I don't mind at all, but
Sara Forever's in my draft. But you know, I'm just like, are you? Is this how it's going to be? Are you going to direct things, make it for your favorites to get the better performance, and then tell other people that you need to bring it back down. But then when they do listen to you, the final product wasn't enough. And I don't feel like that's right. So that's why I always feel like outside people need to direct these things so the judges aren't a part of it, because I feel like when the judges are a part of it, they can add their input. But I guess that's how they always do it in Drag Race. But I feel like they need to not do that, because you can have outside unconscious bias. I might not even be trying to do it, but it just so happens to happen that way. So I'm not like blaming them for being that way, because that's just human nature. Sometimes we have an unconscious bias when we're doing things because we like this person or we just really want them to give the best performance. But if you have an outside person who is not a judge, who does not have any stake in this, they're just there to direct, and it's going to be they're going to put their best effort, make sure everybody gives a great performance. So that's just my little 2 cents.
Rossy de Palma directing. I'm sorry. I'm going to talk at length about her because she, when we get there, because she is an icon to me, and I was very thrilled to see her on this episode. But Mr. Talented, any thoughts on the rehearsal itself?
No, not really. I kind of agree with everything y'all said. It just kind of reminds me of when Kylie Sonique was being directed by Michelle Visage on All Star 6, where she literally got up and showed her what to do, and then she won the challenge. Kind of reminds me of that. But yeah, the judges need to take their bias away from the competition sometimes when they're doing stuff like this and be fair. If it's one critique for one girl, keep it the same for everyone else.
I will say, though, I do think I remember when Kylie Sonique Club got those notes from Michelle. A lot of people were very upset that she won. They were like, she should have been in the bottom because she had to receive notes. But I'm the kind of person that if they have to receive notes, that's fine. It's what they do with it once they get the notes that really matters.
Absolutely.
So if somebody takes those notes and absolutely nails it, then I still think they deserve to be praised. Of course, that doesn't always work if they're being conflicting with what they want, like with Mami Watta. But I hold nothing against Sara Forever.
I mean, and I don't either. I also felt the same way with how they did this thing with Kitty Space. Even in this thing, they were like, Kitty, you needed so much direction from us. Well, but did she pull off what you wanted her to do? She did exactly what you told her to do. And then now she's getting, well, that wasn't enough. But what do you want? What do you want? Do you want her to do what you told her to do? Or do you want her to listen to your critiques and then just totally do the opposite of that? Like, I don't know what you want from her. Or what do you want from any of these queens when you're giving them directions and saying, this is what I want, this is what you should do. And then when they do it, it just wasn't enough. Or we had to direct you too much. That's your job as the director. Direct me. That shouldn't be an issue of I had to give you too much direction. I am not an actor. This is not what my job is. I am a queen to entertain you. I don't have to be an actress to entertain you. So your job as a director is to bring out the best in your actors. That's your job. My job is to be on the stage, look pretty, and entertain. And was I not entertained? Are you not entertained? But you can't turn around and give me the direction. I do the direction and then judge me and say, you didn't do enough. I did what you told me. How is that not enough? So that's my whole about the whole situation.
I definitely agree. I'm definitely in the same camp as David, really. It's like, I don't care if people get critiques or get notes during it. It's what you do with it. And it's what ends up at the end result that really matters.
Got that too. I agree.
I do feel like the Drag Race panel is slowly crawling to being back on its bullshittery, which I'm not really happy about.
And Kitty Smile wasn't even here this week. Like, that's the difficulty. Is like, he wasn't even here. Like, what do you mean?
Listen, if there's one reason I'm happy he's on the panel, it's just because I know my girl Keiona will be safe for the long term.
I know! Keiona will be fine if Kitty Smile is on the panel. And you know what? I'm fine. Lana, you're muted, darling.
I keep going in and out. It's these weeks where he's not here that I'm like, y'all be on that bull and try to get Keiona out. I'll be like, don't be messing with me because but I feel like she's doing fine on her own, but
she hasn't given them a reason.
She had right, but I feel like the second he not there and she give a slip up just a tiny bit, I'm like, hold on. Where's Kitty? Where is Kitty?
Where's Kitty Smile?
Where is Kitty Smiles? Where is he? Okay, but anyway.
He's there next week and doesn't look good from what we saw in the preview.
Yeah, I know. I know. But we don't know who he's talking about.
True. I do want to briefly touch on the workroom stuff because it was a lot all at once, and I was just like,
they trying to kill me. It's
not normally this much back to back to back, and so when it is, I'm just like, oh god, like
it was the trauma hour.
It really was. So we get the conversation we start with Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about a little bit more detail into her transition and like all of that process, which I'm glad we're hearing more about. I said in our episode 1 review, I was hopeful that we would get a little bit more information about it from her on the show, and we have been. So I'm really happy about that. Talking about how she just was not happy and she didn't want to be, with us on this earth anymore. But when she started taking hormones, it was like everything changed. And I'm like, hi, just in case you forgot, gender affirming care is affirming. Mm-hmm. Affirming is the key word in this scenario. Hello. Like I've seen firsthand friends of mine that are like in the middle of their transition or starting their transition and just like seeing how they change and how much happier and how much like brighter they are. Like I've seen it firsthand, so I know that I can see those things that she's feeling and experiencing, and I do love that she was able to get to a place where she is now.
Yeah, I agree. You all know I love Moon, so like hearing that kind of broke my heart for her, and just looking at her, like anytime I've seen her on the show, I've seen nothing but pure woman. Like she's never seemed like out of place with who she is. So hearing that was actually a surprise for me. Even like knowing she's only been on hormones 8 months, it was like, you look like you've been on hormones since you were 12.
Literally. Like a woman, and we love you for it.
Yeah. She's just so pure, and I think the world's a much better place with her on it.
Agree.
So
I agree.
I'm glad that she's in a better place.
Yeah, I agree with you, David.
Not that kind of better place.
No, not in the better place, but in a good place in her life. Good place in her life. But yeah, I agree. I think like Moon is so pretty. Like she's so pretty. And like when you look at some drag queens, you're like, okay, yes, I can see the features are a little stronger. For they reach more so towards their manlier side than their feminine side, which is
you can say my name.
I mean, I was never.
I will.
I was about to say I would never, but Eris, but no, but no.
I would never ever dare Eris envy.
I would never ever say Eris looks like a manly man of a man in drag. But no, I would never say that. Like, why?
It doesn't.
No, yeah. But I mean, but yeah. So, but she definitely has embraced the femininity of who she is, and I can see that. And I was like, oh, only 8 months. She definitely like. This is just who she is. And I feel like even when before her hormones, she started taking the hormone, she was just feminine. She was just pretty. She was soft. And I feel like that's why she was like, you know what? This is who I'm supposed to be. This is just who I'm supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be in this body. I'm not supposed to be this man that I was, that they want me to be. So I'm just going to go all the way and do it. And I appreciate that she opened up and was able to just be like, no, I was not happy in my life. Yes, I thought about unaliving myself. Yes, I was not trying to be here because I was not happy. But once I realized why I was not happy, I started fixing why I was not happy and became happier and stronger in who I am now. And I'm like, this is beautiful. I just feel like France specifically is trying to take me through this emotional roller coaster that I was not ready to embark on, and I can't get off the roller coaster that is taking me on, because I'm every time I watch, I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna cry, and then I'm like, flip side, the runway happens, I'm like, oh yeah, work, this is beautiful, great. I'm like, it's just too much. I'm like, I need a level, a balance. I said it before, everything needs levels. It needs to have levels, and they are really just taking me on this up and down journey, and I am tired, France. I am tired. I am tired of this journey, but guess what? I'm going to continue to watch because I am a sadist and I can't stop watching it. So I'm just going to watch it and continue this journey, because then after Moon's journey and Moon's emotional ride, Mami Watta turns up and like, I know I'm probably supposed to be a trans woman. I feel it in my whole soul, but I can't do it because I don't want to kill my parents. And I'm like, are you? Oh, I mean, I hate that people feel like that, but I understand with so much, because I was that person. I wanted to please my parents. Everything I did was to please my parents. I wanted them to always be proud of me, always, appreciate that I'm doing. I just wanted their approval so much that even if I didn't want to do something, I did it anyway, because my parents were the most important people in my life. And I realize that now, after they are both gone, that I'm like, wow, I did so much, even though I didn't want to do it, but I wanted them to be happy. And would I change anything in my life? No, absolutely not, because I feel like I did what I was supposed to do, and they were happy with me, and they were proud of me. When they left this earth, they were proud of me, of who the person I was. So I'm like, okay, I'm okay. But I felt that for her, and I feel like I hate the pressures that we put on ourselves for other people in spite of our own happiness. And hopefully she could come to a conclusion that one day she realizes that she just has to be happy for herself, regardless of whoever. But I also hope that her parents will be like, we accept you regardless of who you are. If you want to become a trans woman, then that's who you are. And we accept that, and we love that for you. We'll support you. I would love, 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 love for Mami Watta to come out and say, my parents are accepting of everything I am, and they love me for who I am. And I am now in transition to become the person I'm supposed to be. I would love that for her. I'm so sick of crying for France. I'm like, stop making me cry, France. Stop making me cry.
I want to talk about my Mami Watta too. So I feel like after hearing all of this, for me, in my brain moving forward, Mami is a woman.
Yeah.
If that's how she feels, if she hasn't started transitioning the way she would like to, it doesn't matter. That's how she feels inside. So that's how I'm going to see her, even if she's not presenting the way she would prefer. So
I will call her a woman.
You're a full woman, Mami Watta.
A full woman, Mami Watta. Period.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what you want, then do it, girl. We support you.
And then we sort of get into Kitty Space saying, she's had those feelings, being like, what is my identity? But then she found that she felt like she had a femininity affirmed by her drag, alongside just realizing, people were just saying things to her. And personally, I think I understand that quite a lot, because there was a period in my life where I considered that I was trans, and I went through sort of a gender journey. And I realized the issues I was having, I was suffering with body dysmorphia and confusing that with gender dysphoria. I didn't realize that I was unhappy with my body, but it wasn't my gender or my sex I was upset with. And when, I sort of took control of those things and sort of sought help and then changed the way my body looked, I realized, I'm happy as a man. I just wasn't happy with how I was presenting, and also the way my body looked. So that's when I because I identified as non-binary for a while, but I no longer identify as non-binary. But that's when I sort of happiness through affirming my gender as a man,
Sure.
whilst, you know, the trans community gave me so much help in that time when I was trying to discover myself. And I think that's kind of the beautiful thing about the community as a whole, is when we look after each other and we say, you know, you can be whatever. It's just that journey is you've got to be the one to take it and to figure those things out for yourself.
Yeah,
I
I
love
agree
that.
with that. What I really appreciate about this segment, especially with Kitty, is that it showed that gender can be a constant journey for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And so many times I've heard stories about somebody starting to transition and then they detransition, and people use that against
Right.
trans
That's
people.
not fair.
It is not, because like there's no rules about when, how often. You do whatever makes you happy, and that's all
Exactly.
that matters. So if somebody's doing something and you don't understand it, just mind your business. Let them be them.
Exactly.
Period. I mean, if people would benefit so much in life if they literally just minded their business all the time. Like, let people live their own lives and do what they want to do with their lives. Just because things are legal don't mean you have to do it. Just because things are out there don't mean you have to take part in it. Just because people are living their lives don't mean you have the right to interfere in what's going on in their lives. You might not agree with it. You don't even have to believe in it. You don't even have to like it. But you don't have to say nothing to them, because that's not your choice. This is not your place. You don't want nobody to tell you what to do with your life. You don't tell anybody else what to do with their lives. And that's why I'm like, people. I think I had this conversation today, literally, with my friend who I just came back from brunch with. Hey, Kaz, if you're watching. But we were just talking about that. Like, you might not agree with people who same-sex marriage. You might not agree with the whole LGBT community. And that's fine. You don't have to. They're not asking for your permission. Nobody is asking for your
Damn
permission.
right we're not asking for your permission. We're
Nobody's
here.
asking for your permission. All they are asking for is you to leave them alone and let them live their life. Just like you want people to leave you alone and let you live your life. Abortion can be legal, don't mean you have to abort your baby. Drugs can be legal, don't mean you have to take it. Gay marriage can be legal, don't mean you have to be gay. Just mind your business and let people live, period. And that's why I feel like government don't need to get involved in none of it, because it's none of their business. Let people live their life how they see fit. And that's it.
Yep.
So yeah, I love that Kitty Space was like, yes, this journey was for me. I thought that I maybe wanted to be trans, but then I figured, nope, I don't. I'm happy with being the man that I am, but I get to live out my feminine fantasies and live out that side of my life when I put on my drag, which is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing that she can say, I can do this and be happy in my feminine life, and then I can take it off and I can be the man that I am. And that's a beautiful thing. That's who you want to do. Just do your life. Live your best life, people. That's the PSA I have for today. Live your life how you want to live your life. Don't nobody care what nobody else says.
PSA for the day.
Period.
PSA for the day. Work.
Mr. John, did you have any other thoughts on all of the emotions of everything and all of it at once?
I mean, you guys are just taking the words right out of my mouth. You know, France has been very touching with the stories thus far. You know, it really makes you want to continue to watch and to hear everyone's story and things that queer people go through. So, kudos to the producers for including these things and not leaving them out, because they're very important things for us to hear so that we can get to know these queens better. Yeah, the PSA for the day, live your life, you know, live your life and do what makes you happy. Yeah, only God can judge you. So.
Period.
It's really endearing me to this cast. Like I was telling Logan, like, this might be one of my favorite casts in a long time.
I think I really agree. Yeah.
I mean, it's mine because that's the only one I know.
Well, no, we're saying, like, of all the franchises, and still I know Lana is on her Drag Race journey.
And it's my journey to take, and let me live my life in my Drag Race journey.
Yeah.
And but yet I do kind of feel like this might, from the Drag Races that I've watched thus far, this is probably my favorite cast as a whole, collectively.
And France is slowly becoming one of my favorite franchises, honestly. Like, season 1 was season 2 thus far, 3 episodes in. Like, I'm really enjoying everything. that's being said, that's being brought up, the personalities of these girls. Like every single elimination thus far, I've been like, no, I want to see more. But that's not how Drag Race works, except if you're on All Winners. So no one goes home, in the words of Raja. Let's talk about the runway, and then we'll get into the challenge shortly after that. We're going to have to just lean in here.
Is there a is there a different?
That's better. Okay.
Okay, I'm about to say.
We can also try.
I'm about to say a different thing to make us a little smaller.
Oh,
that's better. Oh, wait, that's Damari's gone. No.
Well, that
works.
That's
works.
Fine.
That's fine.
We'll go with that. So we have 2 guest judges because obviously we have an absence of Kitty Smile this week. Loic Prigent, who is a French journalist. I believe he was on season 1 of Drag Race France as a guest judge. I was familiar with him, and I don't know what from, but it might have been that.
I felt the same about Rossy de Palma, but I didn't know from where.
Rossy de Palma is an icon, a legend, a diva, and the moment. So she is a very famous Almodovar actress.
Oh, yeah.
So when we did the Almodovar runway on España, a lot of those inspirations were characters that Rossy de Palma has done. I know her from Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown, which is a phenomenal movie if you haven't seen it. But Mr. Talented, you and I are just going to talk about this wig and this outfit that Nikki Doll is wearing because Nikki Doll is serving looks on this season.
Child, I'm going to say all of the judges this week look good.
Yes.
All of them look good. Nikki and this wig is sitting how it should sit. This wig is this wig is everything. The outfit is everything.
It gives a little bit like Atomic Ginger Spice.
Honestly, yeah.
It's a huge step up from a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that first week, the first week. And you know what? I didn't realize how much I didn't like that first week until y'all were talking about it. And then I went and saw another person do a reaction to the first season, or the first episode, and they dogged the wig. And I was like, I don't know if I hated the wig when I first saw it, but looking at it more and more, I hate it more and more as I look at it. I was like, it's so.
I'm glad I wasn't alone.
No, you're definitely correct.
I can't remember.
You were definitely. Yeah, you got to look at that blue.
Bone straight blonde with random blue highlights for some reason.
It was just
really
weird. It was very thin. I think it was the thinness of it for me. Because the more I looked at it, I was like,
that is a low density wig. Someone told her she was fly, hot, and sexy, and in that wig, she was nothing of the sort.
Nothing of the sort. But I disagree. Everybody don't look good on this picture because Daphne could have not worn that.
It does kind of look like a pajama party.
She's not giving. She's giving me. I just rolled out of bed and came. It's just not.
You know what it's giving? It's giving me, I bought this off an American website, but I thought the size was European.
Right. It's just, exactly. It's not fitting real good. They told me it was a medium, but a medium European is a large American. And so.
You thought she ordered the relaxed fit, she accidentally bought the loose.
It's very ill-fitting. It's just too. It's not yet. No, she could have changed. Like standing next to Nikki, and then this other lady with her horns on her head, looking like straight goth drag, beautiful. Love it.
Rossy de Palma is just an icon.
Yeah, she shouldn't be there. Like even the man is giving a better look than she is. Like at least his suit fits. Yeah, don't.
Who did you compare Rossy de Palma to? I don't remember.
I compared Rossy de Palma to Secret, but I forgot who it was.
I can't.
I was just gonna say, like, I'm so sorry Daphne Becky is watching this because we have dogged her every week for her outfits. And I mean, she is partially responsible for that. I don't know if she has a stylist. I'm assuming not.
If you do, fire your stylist. If you don't, fire yourself.
Because like this outfit she's wearing, this outfit would be lovely if it was tailored. Imagine if it was like a tailored suit, it would look wonderful.
Yeah.
I remembered who I compared Rossy de Palma to. She looked like a dragged up version of Margaret Hamilton, who played the witch in The Wizard of Oz. Something about her face structure was very similar.
Do you know what she's giving me? And this is not a read. It's like it's giving me a 1950s bat costume that your grandmother sewed to you for Halloween, but if you like quantified it.
Oh, sure. She's a 1960s character from the old Batman TV series.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
I'm settled on that.
She's 1960s Batwoman. There we go.
Yeah. That seems.
But it's set in 19. No, I don't want to say 1930 because they would tailor better. But it's set in a year when they did baggy Halloween costumes.
Sure. Anyway.
Or we like just read the entire.
I'm about to say we'll talk 50 more minutes about how awful
challenge performances to talk about. So category is Night of 1,000 Dalidas.
Okay, wait. I got so confused because I was like, why are we doing this again? But that was Mexico. That wasn't even.
I'm telling you on it. When there's too many going on at once, it's like why everything overlaps.
I was like, why are we doing a Night of 1,000 somebody else again? Didn't we just do that with Maria? I was like, well, wait, nope. That
Maria
was
Felix is Spanish.
That was Mexico. Moving on.
Is Italian and French, but born in Egypt.
Do we not have a French icon that we could have done that was just French?
They did it on season 1. It was what's her face?
I don't remember her name, but Mami Watta has been cursing her out on Twitter because she performed one of her songs lately, and she fell over during the number very hard.
Oh no!
And she jinxed me, girl.
Anyway, first up, Kunty. Let's start with Eris. Sure.
So this is a bad picture of a good look. I just want to say
Blame
that
the Drag Race France Instagram.
Drag Race France, you are doing my diva, Kunty, very wrong. This fucking coat, when she said it's satin and tulle, I was like, oh, you bitch, I know you've got a good bank credit. Oh, I just realized she's not wearing nails. Oh, I'm so sad.
Nope.
Oh, wait, she's wearing nails. They're very short.
Or she's painted her nails or something like that.
Okay, I do that, but that's just because I hate the texture of nails. But I thought this was really wonderful. I thought this was really well made. There is another version of this look on the runway, and I will get into my thoughts on that. If I had to say who wore it better, I'm gonna say Cookie.
I disagree wholeheartedly, and I can't wait to disagree.
But we will discuss it at length. But yeah, my only ish is like, I think it's just the angle on this wig. I think this wig could have gone with a brush over it just one more time. Like, I know it's an iconic style to Dalida, but I think the style of the wig is perfect. It just needed a brush going over it once or twice.
Lana.
Oh
no.
Amazing Grace. This look bored me to tears. I was so bored. I thought her hair was a mess. I thought the coat was cute, but it's just a coat with some pink. It's a coat, and then it's a bathing suit or bodies. I was so bored, and I feel like she didn't even perform it well. Like, I was so bored with Kunty. I could be wrong. I could be complete. I just was not in. I wasn't feeling it so much. When she walked in, I was like, oh, it's cute, but is it like heart stopping? Was it? No. And I feel like she was just boring. I feel like, and this is a problem. I really want to love Kunty. I really do. I said even in the pre-show, I was like, I really think she has something. I want to really like Cookie, but I feel like she's so in her own head right now because everybody knows who she is, and she's like this iconic person that I feel like she's taking a lot of it in, and it's like it's not. She's so much pressure. She's not performing as she probably possibly could. I don't know. I just was not feeling. I was just bored with this one.
Mhm. Yeah, I kind of agree. She came out, I was like, meh, like it's a little bit underwhelming. I saw the other look come out and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
As y'all commented, the wig, I'm kind of iffy on the wig. This one piece moment, and I'm not gonna say it's just with her because it's with a lot of queens, but like the part by the breast never fits right. Like I feel like it could always be pulled in a little bit tighter. So that was one of my issues with this look. And then the pink cape, it was fine, like it's fine. It's a fine look. It's fine.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with the two lower people.
Not the lower people.
The two people on the
David.
the two people on the bottom of the screen.
I don't want to say that sounds a little bit racist.
I was thinking the same thing.
I'm just gonna say it because David, I know you. You were just the lower class of people. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. He did not mean that, people. We do not take that seriously.
I hope not.
I agreed with Lana and Mr. Talent.
There
Thank
you
you.
go.
I would say, call us by our names. No.
No, this was honestly my least favorite on the runway tonight. And I just Googled Dalida look. It's the first thing that pops up. So I don't think she really thought outside of the box. I think she went with probably her most iconic look. But even Googling it, I think the actual garment looks way better. So I don't know if you all can see this.
It's overexposed. To all
I would just say Google.
Oh, there
it.
we go.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's definitely a version of
Way
that.
better.
Yes, it's definitely a version of that, but I just wanted to see it more dragged up. If you're going to do something that's maybe a more expected look for her, just make it big, make it exciting. I think somebody else did that. But for me, it didn't really work.
Yeah, I really tend to agree. I think this was fine. I think this is honestly one of Cookie's better looks that she's shown us thus far. And that's not really saying much, unfortunately. I think my biggest issue with this is actually the wig, because it does seem to be closer to a recreation of the actual wig. However, I do think someone did like the drag interpretation and their interpretation of it a little bit better. And we'll talk about that shortly. But scores for Cookie, starting with Eris.
I'm going to give this a 70. I'm sorry, I think this coat is so beautifully made. I would hate to give it anything less than this. If I could, I wish the tights had more stones on them. But I think the bodysuit is made of a really good material. And I did not hate the wig massively.
For me, since I thought it was just meh, I'll give it a 50 because it's not horrible, but it's just not great. So 50.
Yeah, I'll give her a 45.
I gave her a 53.
I saw that he gave her a 53. I'm going to give her a 70.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Keiona. Bitch. She twirled and swirled.
Twirled and swirled.
She twirled and swirled.
In the city of Paris.
Truly. Eris, are you starting again, darling?
Oh, yeah, sure. First of all...
We'll go with that for the whole thing.
First of all, this unit on her head, I just know cost her a good amount of money because that has got to be human. From the way it moves and the way it sits, that's got to be a human hair wig.
100%.
I've got a human hair wig that's sitting on the opposite side of this wall. It's got about 3 strands left in it and the lace is split. It is not doing well. But speaking of doing well, look at how she ate that. The gown, judges get into the gown. The way it moved, the way she moved in it was so romantic, so beautiful. And like, I didn't have time to research the references before this, unfortunately, because I came straight from the viewing to the episode once again. But well, this time I came straight from France to France, whereas last time I came straight from Mexico to France. It was a very exhausting flight.
I believe it.
But this is lovely. I mean, I love that she has her bare leg because that's not something I would ever do in drag. Well, give
You
me
have.
I have when I did my Jesus as a stripper number and I split the panties I made. That was great. But she looked wonderful. I just know if they put a fan in front of her, she would be Beyonce. Like, I'm sorry, she's the moment. And the makeup, Keiona's been experimenting with her makeup on this season, and I think this is one of those times where she's just gone back to sort of her standard drag face, and it works so fucking well. You know why she's like a legendary drag on the ballroom scene, because take one look at her.
I think this dress is beautiful. It's a pretty dress. It's simple. It's beautiful. It looks so good on her skin though. Like it's like glowing, and it's. I mean, you really can't help that everything just looks amazing on this skin of ours because the melanin is popping and it's good. And when it's greased up, baby, damn, good. Is it anything super exciting? No, it's not like, oh, this is the greatest dress in the world. But the way she performed it made it better. And I feel like that's the thing with Cookie for me, that I feel like if she would have performed it better, maybe I would have liked it more. She just didn't perform it. Keiona came out in a simple, beautiful white dress and performed. And it was like, oh, it showed me the movements of the garment. And it made me see like, okay, this garment moves. It's pretty. Yeah, I agree with Eris about the unit. That is a strong 100% human unit. That is cost because, I've been in my wig research, I'm like, woo, that's expensive. That's why I don't have one. But but yeah, she looks good. I feel like so far she's given me really good hair. But it's nothing too like, it's not like the big drag hair that we talked about in other seasons with people. It's simply this is, I think her ballroom style is that kind of hair doesn't work for that. She has to have stuff she can move in and that flows and twirls with her, and so she just has to be spot on in her units. That is, it's tight, it's cute, but it's not huge, and just so she can't move, but it's beautiful. I think she just looks beautiful. I feel like she could be like Diana Ross, she could be Beyonce, she could be those divas on those videos or that photo cover or that magazine cover, you know what I'm saying, where you see that she's giving me very Ebony, Essence, Jet magazine type cover right now, so I'm here for it. I do love a bare leg, and she's greased to the gods, and I'm here for it. It's popping, it's glowing, it's good.
I just want to interject with, like, look at her fucking calves.
Yep.
I train my calves twice a week, and they don't fucking look like that.
Everybody ain't so blessed, because neither am I.
Up your game.
Come on, Eris.
Yeah, I really love the wig, the makeup, and I really, really love the shoe. The dress itself isn't super exciting. It's, kind of a plain, simple white dress, but her performance of it kind of stepped it up a little bit. The skin is skinning, obviously. Melanin is melanining. Definitely. It was an okay look. It's okay.
I love melanining as an adjective. I really do enjoy that.
I'm a mess.
For me, I had that epiphany last week that I might be holding her to an all-star level, like with my standard.
Thank you.
So I'm trying to be super aware and not trying to do that. even so, I do think she looked good in this, but she looks good in anything. Her delivery was very strong. For me, I wasn't super excited about the dress itself. It was on the simple end. What I really would have liked if there was some curves to this, it's just a little bit shapeless. The dress itself, like it's just pretty straight up. Like give yourself some hips. That might have sold it more. I don't expect her to have a chest plate because she doesn't seem like that kind of girl, and she doesn't need to be. But overall, I thought it was okay. I just wanted a bit more. I think it's really hard to pull off a completely white look.
Yeah.
Especially with the bright lights on it, it just kind of loses any detail that might be there.
Because it looks like the bustier part does have some detail to it, but you can't tell in this or on the runway itself.
Yeah. But she still was pretty good.
I agree with everything y'all are saying. Like, the performance of this brought up the level of this garment. Because if I looked at this garment, it's just a garment. But I love the scarf going behind her and just the way that flowed while she was spinning. Just, this is not my favorite Keiona look by any means of the imagination, but I do still think she looks spectacular. So, scores for Keiona.
For me, it's going to be a good 85. I would give this higher, but I do think the dress is very simple, even if it is a reference.
I kind of agree with that. But I would give it an 84 for that reason.
I'll give her a 67.
Yeah, I gave her a 64.
I'm gonna kind of fall right in the middle of everybody. I think I'm gonna give her a 77. But I still was very impressed with Keiona, as always.
Mm-hmm.
Mother Revlon can do no wrong. Well, she hasn't yet, so. Let's talk about Sara Forever. Whoever took this photo, impressive. I have to say that first and foremost. Like, the photo is photoing.
So.
Yes, darling.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Ooh.
I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel.
In that opinion, actually.
It's such an interesting outfit. I want to know what made her go bare-legged for this, and I want to know why she went bare-legged and then had like a mid-calf boot, well, upper calf boot. No, that is mid-calf. Well, I don't know how tall Sara fucking Forever is. That's her new middle name.
I think.
Is that her middle name?
Sara fucking Forever. Absolutely.
What I will say is I do like this wig. I love the color in the wig, and I think Sarah's makeup has been getting. I think she started off with pretty good makeup. But I think she's like picking up tips because she is making like improvements on nosing. We have to find out who our workstation is next to.
I believe she's next to Keiona.
Oh, there we go.
Because she's
at
one of the workroom tables. And I know Keiona has like the individual mirror, whereas like a bunch of the other girls are like at the full mirrors on the side. So I think it's Keiona or Piche.
Because I don't know if anyone else has picked this up, but her makeup looks dewier. And that is like a very impressive skill to have to like make your makeup look like that. What I will say is I like this hair. It's a bit of an off blonde, but I get that it is in reference to Dalida's actual hair color. It's made out of an interesting fabric, and I wish I got the reference and I wish I had the time to look them up because I don't feel like I can fairly judge this as a result. But yeah, it's an interesting look, and I don't know how to feel.
Okay, so for me, I don't think you're alone in this, Eris. I feel like I don't know how I feel about this dress. I mean, if you don't have the slits in it, it's a white dress with some red stuff at the bottom. But you do have the slits in it. I don't know. I feel like Sarah Forever's whole thing is that androgynous thing that, you know, back in middle ground of looks. So I feel like her going bare leg with the boot and showing off the, you know, all that down there. It's giving the male energy with her strong leg because her legs look super strong and
Look at good hamstrings.
right. It looks a little hairy. I can't really tell if that's hair, but looks a little hairy from this picture. Maybe that's shadows.
And there's
But
nothing wrong with that.
and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm like that. I feel like it brings out what she is in her drag. Is giving the male energy with the feminine touches and the feminine side also. So I get it. The dress is okay. It's not wowing me. Sure, it's a white dress with slits in it. I feel like the same thing how we said about Keiona is like it's a white dress with a lot of flowy things behind it. This is just a white dress with slits in it. So, but it's cute. She has the pop of red, which is, you know, great. I like the wig. Makeup is cute. I don't hate it. I'm just like, okay, it's all right. It's not, yeah, it's all right.
Garment made of materials that is on her body.
Right. It's okay. It's not anything that I'm like, oh, like she turned the runway and I was like, that's cute, I guess. And then the more I look at it, I'm like, I mean, I see some things I don't like, but I like it. But other than that, it just wasn't something that super wowed me, but it wasn't something that was like, ugh, awful, god awful. I will not be pleading. I say that.
This it's okay. It's really okay. I kind of don't like the front of it, the front piece of it. The shoe, I don't like the shoe with it. It gets cut off at an interesting length. Yeah, I don't really have that much to say. Yeah, it's kind of just, it's kind of there, yeah.
Yeah, I did like this. I didn't love it. For me, more so than the first two, I felt a little more drag out of this, but not a lot. I think for me, I'm just getting kind of tired of the night of 1,000 fill in the blanks.
Same.
Like, I think it works if whoever you're emulating already kind of has dragified looks. Like Grace Jones, it worked. Lady Gaga, it definitely worked.
Maria Felix, a great example recently, I think worked very well.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just really hard to judge this unless the queens like really step it up to a different level. Those are the ones that are going to get high marks for me. I don't know that Sara Forever did, but I still think she looks good. I'm really seeing the Trinity tuck after they mentioned that this episode. I can't stop seeing it.
Yeah.
Truly that.
Didn't somebody do 1,000 Beyonce's recently? Like All-Star, didn't they do that?
That was on season 15 of US.
I was about to say somebody
And it
just
was
did.
okay.
And it was, I agree, it was just okay. Even though Beyonce had some really dragged up looks that you could choose from, it was just okay.
They should have gave it another year
Right.
because they're Renaissance star visuals.
But I will say though, in the case of US specifically, they have to do looks that are Getty images.
Yeah. Oh.
That takes out. So the Night of 1,000s, I feel like work a lot better on international franchises than they do on the US show.
Why do they have to do that?
Because they did J-Lo as well, and it was none of the good J-Lo, like none of the music video looks. Like the only good one was Carrie Colby in the actual
Versace dress, right? Right. I saw that.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm like,
the dress.
but why do they do that? Why do they only have to be Getty images? Why is that?
Because of the licensing that VH1 and now Viacom has. It's a licensing issue. It's unfortunate, but
they really need to if they need to not.
If they're gonna keep doing it, then they need to strike up a deal with whatever.
Right.
On the topic of Sara Forever, I think this is fine. I hate the boot. I absolutely hate this boot.
It's kinky boots.
I don't need boots.
There's nothing kinky about this boot.
I think this is fine. Honestly, this for me is the epitome of a garment made of materials that is on her body. Honestly, like that's where I'm at with it. So, scores.
I still don't know how to feel. And in the spirit of, I don't think I can score this correctly. I'm so sorry, my gorgeous darling. I'm going to have to plead.
Oh.
I get that. A soft plead, if you will.
It's not a plea because I hate it.
It's pleading because I don't know how to score this.
Sure.
I mean, I also dislike it, but still.
Yeah. I don't love it. I don't hate it. But I don't like. I gave. Who did I give a 50 to? To Cookie? I gave Cookie a 50. And I feel like I might like Cookies more than I like this one. I think the boot for me is like killing me on this look. It's killing me. Well.
And you will, Lana. What is your score?
You know what? I probably feel about the same. It's a 50. I don't like it either. I feel like it's the same for both of them. Yeah. And don't rush me.
I was making the Canada reference, okay?
I know what you're making, and I said what I said.
I know you know what I'm making.
I said.
And I said what I said. Don't rush me.
Hey, come on, reference. Okay. She's getting there. She's getting there.
Right there. I am there. Period.
Yeah. It's a 50. No.
Okay. I guess I liked it more than anybody else or on the panel. This is actually my third highest score of the night. I'm giving it a 70.
I'm going to give it a 60. Yeah. Next is Moon. They're not in order.
The first three ones.
They are in the order that the Instagram posted them in. So
it's giving mother. It's giving Kuntress. It is potentially giving mother Kuntress.
I believe so.
So I love the glasses because it's an iconic fashion moment. I do think another person did this look, and in my opinion,
I disagree wholeheartedly, and I'm ready to fight you again.
Wait.
However, I do like the collar detail and the glasses details. I also like the poke had a cigarette. I think that was really funny. And the nails. Get into the nails movement. The nails had the same details as the collar and the glasses, by the way, in case you didn't notice. Like, only a superstar knows to match their fucking nails to their collar. Like, are you for real? And one thing about Moon is she is going to wear these itty bitty fried blonde wigs, and she's going to make you love them.
I like this look for Moon. I thought she paid really good attention to detail, but I also agree with Eris. I feel like someone did it better, in my opinion. But that's not saying I don't like this look, because I think the fact that the details make it for me with this look. The way that she did that collar to match the sunglasses, to match the nails, to even matching the collar on the dog. All of those details make me go, yes, Moon, period. You did that.
Moon.
The dress is cute, but I still think it's a little big, but it's still cute. I do love it. I do like it. Do I like it more than the other? No, but I like it. Period.
I agree with everything you guys are saying. I love the attention to detail on this look, of course. It's a very well put together look, but I do kind of like the other one a little bit better. But this is still great. Still great.
Mm-hmm. I agree with the three of you. I'm not going to say where you were placed on the screen, but I agree with everybody but Logan. I do think this was the weaker of the two looks, but I do still like it. I think probably the original of this was already a drag enough look that she was able to make it work, which is kind of what I was saying about some of the other girls. What I do like about this is that I'm starting to get a signature kind of look from Moon. She clearly likes to have this like cartoon pattern. She had it in her talent show last week, and we're seeing it again here. So I'm starting to get an idea of, oh, this is her style. This is her identity. So I really like that. My least favorite part of it is the dog that she's carrying. I feel like it makes it look like a cheap costume. So just get rid of the dog, please.
I am ready to
Logan.
fight each and every one of you, starting with David. So, okay, I think we'll talk about the other look shortly. I do think the other look is very, very well tailored and it looks very good. And she modeled the hell out of it. And I'll give my full thoughts later. For me, this feels more Night of 1,000 Dalidas because you can tell not only was this garment made well, but you can tell Moon has such a reverence for Dalida to put all of those details on it. And for me, that puts it over the top for me in the comparison of the Dalida looks. I love the way that the collar looks. I love the whole headpiece. I love that the dog is there. I thought that detail was really fun. For me, she thought through every single detail on this, and I was really, really impressed. So I would say this is my preferred look of the two, but neither of them are bad by any means of the imagination. So, scores.
But is it the better look for you?
It's the better look for me. Moon.
This is like amazing, but my mind keeps throwing me back to the other look, so I'm gonna give this a 95. Muma.
I would give this look an 87.
I'll give this look an 85.
Wow. You all are a lot higher than me. I give it a 65.
And you said you liked Moon.
I do.
You are harsh.
It's still not amazing.
I don't care. My cup is full.
Of course it is.
I love it. Piche.
Okay, so first off, woman. Second of all, she looks wonderful. I love this. It is a beautiful moment. I love the reference. I think it looks expensive. I think the choice of fabrics makes it look expensive because she went for the good satin instead of costume satin. And I think the hair with the beard is just sitting perfectly. I just think I love that it was a reveal. We keep getting reveals from Piche. And I just think her makeup's so soft here. And it is crazy to me how she can look so insanely feminine whilst having like a hairy chest and hairy armpits and a beard. Because as someone who does drag whilst having, body hair and a mustache, I don't do that. I do cartoonishly like big drag makeup because I don't think I can pull off what Piche is pulling off here. My only thing, I wanted bigger nails. I am so sorry, but you are on Drag Race. You don't have to use your phone, so you can put some big nails on.
And they do have press-ons that you can take on and off at the end of the night. Just saying. Pop some on, take some off. For me, I really love this look. Piche looked amazing. I mean, we get reveals from Piche every week. And I'm like, all right, give me something else now. I love a good reveal. But I just want to see you come out and the first one, we didn't get a reveal with the suit, but the last two ones was the theme of reveal. This one was it the cape supposed to be quote unquote like the one that Cookie and Kitty wore, but then was like, but no, absolutely not. It's something different.
It's actually a different look.
So, okay.
It's a completely different look. So that look, the coat is in black.
Okay.
And then reveals to sort of this like idea. But yeah, so this is a completely different idea.
Okay. Well, I really like this look. I think it definitely came off very pretty and soft, and then it gives more like traits to his gypsy, that background that he comes from. And I love it. It just looks really good. I agree with Eris about the makeup. It looks so soft. And the fact that he can pull off soft makeup with that full beard, like, it's crazy to me. Because if you just look up past the beard, you're like, oh, that's a woman. Then you get to the beard and like, oh, but it's a beard. It's a bearded woman. And it's beautiful. I've never said that about a bearded woman before. That's a beautiful bearded woman. But that is a beautiful bearded woman. And I can't take my eyes off of their eyes. Like, her eyes are beautiful. Especially in this picture, just look at her eyes. It's so captivating and beautiful. And this outfit is amazing. I love it. I love it. Can't say nothing about this.
Yeah, it is a really nice look. Her makeup and hair are everything. For a moment, she was walking around with the coat. I was like, is she not gonna take it off? I'm really glad she did, because had she not, man. But she took it off, and this is what we got, and this is a very nice look. So she did a good job this week.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I do want to rewind and go back to the reading challenge we had.
Yeah, I was going to.
So
Please do.
we had Moon reading Piche, and she said, I'm Roma, you're Gypsy. I'm Esmeralda, you're Quasimodo.
Gag.
Well, Piche said, no, I'm Esmeralda.
Don't you dare.
Don't try it out.
So I thought that was really funny. What I like about Piche is I feel like she's bringing the standard of looks that I really hope for in somebody's first season. She's really delivering with the looks. She's keeping us surprised. She does reveals. So I'm really enjoying what she's bringing. I think this is a great look. It's not my favorite look I've seen, but it's easily one of my favorites from tonight. Probably my second favorite. And thank God there was a reveal, because I was worried at first.
I was like, come on, Brooklyn Heights reveal coat. That's immediately what I thought. But no, the look is amazing. She looks stunning. This color, this purple and this pink on her body is just so incredible. Incredible. Amazing. Incredible. Scores.
90.
I would say, I agree, 90.
Yeah, I'm gonna give her an 80.
78.
85. Next is Kitty Space.
Okay. Logan, I see you, you see me.
I see you.
So, I'm going to start by saying I don't hate this look, but I think I preferred Cookie's version. I think the coat is wonderful, and I love that it's feathered. So, Kitty seems to have an issue with her padding here, where her padding is sitting a little too far behind. And I have the same issue because I wear 3-inch pads. So if my pads are not sitting correct, I do look crazy. But if you put them too far back, the lower half of your pads kind of curl around the back of your leg, and then you end up with sort of like bubble hips where it goes da da da. And that's kind of what Kitty was suffering from here. And in a bodysuit, that is the last thing you need. There's also, you can see her grundle wear just below the bodysuit here.
Yeah.
And it's these tiny little details that I think Kitty needs to just kind of nail down, because she's got she's had some really amazing looks in the season, like Hello literally last week. My thing is I don't like the hair either. I think it's a little bit too Texas pageant, and it's taken away from Dalida. I'd also have to say, so she comes from the new school of drag, and I also come from the new school of drag, but I don't think she needed the chunky Bratz dolls heels for this look. What I will say is, taking the time to learn just a little bit more about Dalida before recording the episode, I do like that she included the arrow and the heart, because Dalida's story, if anyone's familiar, she went through quite a lot of heartbreak in her life, and I think it's a beautiful tribute to that. I wasn't keen on the details. Like, it's a good look, but there was just issues with the styling and the details. And the quadra-butt.
For me, I like this look, I think, better. Yeah, for me. For me, I like this look a little bit better than Cookie's look. I think for the detail factor of it. Like, I like the feathers on the coat. I like the fringe around the bottom of the bodysuit. I like the heart, and I like that she performed this. Like, this is a simple outfit if it's not performed well, and that's why I feel like Cookie kind of lacked in. I feel like Kitty came out and gave us a performance which enhanced this look for me. She gave the whole broken heart of this person and pulled out the needle and stuck it in her heart. I was like, oh, okay, she's telling the story on the runway, and I appreciate that. Sure, the hair is very Texas pageant for me, but I'm not hating it. I think it kind of she blended it well, so it looks natural, it looks good coming out of her scalp, so it's cute. Her makeup is a very like harsh in the eye because she's still telling the story of the broken heart and how damaged she is because of it. And so I can see that. And that's why I think I appreciated this one more, because I felt it more. I felt the story being told better and the performance of it. This is the same thing with Keiona. It's a simple look, but the performance elevated it. This is a simple look, but the performance elevated it. And the small little details added it to it that make me like it a little bit more. So.
Yeah, I can agree. I like this look better than Cookie's look. I feel like the cape was done a little bit better. I feel like the hair I like better. I agree with you, Lana. The performance of this look elevated it. Her makeup was great. I really like it. I do.
Yeah, for anybody out there who's thinking about applying to be on Drag Race, and you get in a category and it's Night of whoever, if the first thing you see when you Google that person is a specific image, don't do that look.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Unless you have J-Lo's Versace dress,
Right.
The actual dress, then do that.
So that's my biggest issue with Kitty, because I wish she had thought outside of the box a bit more, but she did think outside of the box with the look she did choose, if that makes sense. Probably sounded like a contradiction, but I do
The detail work
work.
what, like, she took a look that is very known by people and added details to make it a little bit more unique.
Exactly. She dragged it up, which is all I'm asking for. Even her makeup, I really like her makeup. She has some of my favorite makeup of any of the queens this season. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's still not anything I'm amazed by, but I like it. She did the job.
Yeah, I think for me, I think execution-wise, I think Cookie did this better. I think detail-wise, I think Kitty did it better. I like the detail work that was done here. I completely agree. I prefer this wig. This is what I was talking about with Cookie's wig. It's like that seems more a la Dalida. This seems a little bit more drag and a little bit more Kitty, and I do like that. However, I will agree with Eris. All of the pad issues, there was a little bit of like lace issue. The lace was popping on the sides. It's just those little details for me that kind of took it out of the fantasy a little bit more than I wanted to be. But I don't think this is a bad look by any means of the imagination. And I will agree. The performance of it did elevate it. So it's kind of like, I'm like, the performance was great, but there's these tiny execution details that I'm dealing with. But yeah, so scores.
No, I'm kidding. I'm going to give this a 65.
I would give it a 70.
I'll give her a 68.
You're all very close. I gave her a 67.
I'm going to give her a 69.
Nice.
Work.
Nice.
Well, it's our last time judging her until the finale, so that feels fine.
Oh, spoiler.
You said it earlier.
I know.
Next is Ginger Beach.
Unique. So this was an interesting look because I believe this is in reference to Dalida's gravestone.
Yes.
Am I wrong? Okay. I think the front piece was like interesting. I wish we had a picture of her where she'd pulled it away because the corset she had on underneath was beautiful. I think this is very elegant. I love the wig. This is just my opinion, and it's my opinion, and no one needs to be upset about this, but I think this is the best Ginger has looked all season, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I think the fabric looks expensive. I love that. If you're looking close, it's stoned. And God knows how long that fucking skirt took to stone. Yeah, I just think all the details are there, and this is the best makeup Ginger's done, added with the fact that everything is done so well, and the way she fucking performed this, It was spectacular. This was brava.
Okay. So I like this. I liked Ginger. I like Ginger. I think her entrance with the wall behind her kind of just is like, okay, Ginger, I see you. And then to find out it was in reference to the grave of this person, I was like, oh, you ginger bitch. You just like you ginger bitch you. But it was I thought it was a like she thought she didn't go for the obvious. Like a lot of people went for the obvious with this look. She decided to do something completely different, out of the obvious, out of the box. And I can do nothing but applaud her for it. I think having that breastplate and then taking it off and having a glossier breastplate still on there was like, I see what you're doing. I can do nothing but applaud her um for her thought process with this. It looks good. I don't see anything wrong with her makeup. They seem to have a problem with her makeup. Like, oh, you keep doing the same makeup, change it up a little bit.
I think the difficulty is, and I will agree, I think this is the best her makeup has looked on the season thus far. I think there's just a little bit of an issue with blending, specifically in the eye. It's like everything feels, and I compared it to Trixie Mattel, I believe, on the last episode, the way Trixie used to do things, and it was very like blocked out. Everything was so like carved out. There's just a little bit of extra blending that she needs to be doing in the eye.
Yeah,
I will say this is the best her makeup's looked for me. But sorry.
Yeah, I agree. I think sure. I get that, and I'm like, okay, maybe, but I'm like, I also know that she's not been doing drag for that long, right? I'm not
3
mistaken.
years, I believe.
3 years. So I feel like she's still figuring out some things and working out you have to grow and mature in your drag to figure out what's the best look for you. I kind of think this fits this look. This kind of extreme, like I kind of goes with this look, so I don't think there's anything wrong with this look. Now maybe when she does something else, it might not fit with that. So, but I like it. I thought she thought outside the box, and I'm very happy with this. And Ginger is my Ginger Beach, so I like her.
Period. Yeah, I agree. This look is a good look. I love that she added her own little background. I love that she had her little prop in front of her. She performed this the house down. Yeah, I love her wig. Love the wig. Yeah, the look. It's a good look. She did a good job. She did good.
Yeah, so I like that she thought outside the box here. She did some creative and campy things with this. My issue, I guess, is that the look itself, especially once she takes off the big breastplate, it just didn't do anything for me. Like, I don't know. I really didn't even like the breastplate she had underneath this. I thought that was worse. Even the skirt part's boring. I don't know. It's just not my favorite look. I don't really care about her makeup. She's a type of queen where I don't think it matters. Like, she kind of gives me like Ben de la Creme makeup, which who cares what Ben de la Creme's makeup is like? She's a comedy queen.
I care.
But yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, so this is in reference to Dalida's grave site in Montmartre. I'm probably saying that wrong, so sorry to the people of France. But from what I understand, it's kind of like a Mecca place people go, and the bronze plate that she has in front of her is in reference to people rubbing the grave site for like good luck. Is like the idea behind it. So I love that idea. I think idea and concept, 15 out of 10. Execution, like a 7. Like I think the difficulty for me is she has a lot of fabric bunching up at her neck. And so when you get the close-up of her neck when she's getting like critiques or when she's like being announced as spoiler safe, it looks like wrinkled skin almost because of how close the fabric color is to her actual skin. And so that kind of threw me off a little bit. The garment itself is nothing nothing extraordinary, but I think it's fine. So, scores.
Don't jump me. My cup is full.
Okay, love
I
it.
will not jump you at all because I will give her a 95. So almost there.
I'll give her a 67.
I gave her a 59.
I'm gonna give her a 77.
And I do want to say, anytime somebody's more positive on a look, I love that for them. I would be more inclined to jump somebody if they dogged a look that was great.
Fair, very fair and understandable. Punani.
Mother. So this dress is giving interesting angular movements. I think the details are gorgelina. The glasses, are you kidding me? And it's the collarbones, it's the mug, it's the hair, it's the collar, it's the shoulders, it's the tiny itty bitty waist, it's the blocked off hips, it's the fucking trumpet skirt. Like, are you kidding me? Everything is correct. I think the only, and this is super nitpicky of me, the only thing is I would have had a necklace on there because I am a tramp for a good necklace. But other than that, this 8 down. I'm sorry to anyone else who attended the buffet, but Punani ate everything and left.
I couldn't agree with you more. I feel like she ate down in this dress. The dress, I love the hips. I love the trumpet skirt. I love the glasses. I love the detail in the collar. I love the detail on the buttons. Her mug is amazing. There's nothing bad to say about this. I don't even care about the necklace, although she could have used one. I'm not even mad about it. 8 house down, period. I was starving because she left me no crumbs. Not a crumb.
Yeah, you guys can't say any better. This look is everything. This is great. This is a good look.
Yeah, this is drag. That's what I want to see. The curves, the shape, the rhinestones, everything looks expensive. So I love it.
I just need her to bring this level of excellence to the challenges so she can start being in the top. Like, I don't get it, but I adore this look. I will still stand by the fact that I personally prefer Moons to this for the detail work. However, I think the detail work here is absolutely exceptional, and I think Punani looks absolutely perfect in every possible way. So, neither of them look bad at all. Scores for Punani.
Overflowing.
Someone send the submarine down to get me because I'm in the middle of the ocean drowning in how great this is. Overflow. I am drowning. It's so good.
Is that the new level?
Yeah.
Drowning.
Drowning, baby. I can't. My cup is at the bottom of the ocean. It's taking so much. It's drowned. Done.
Period. I'll give her a 90.
I'll give her an 83.
I'm going to give her a 96.
David, you're killing me.
And last up is Mami Watta. Not featured is the trim on the train that she kept walking over.
Okay. I'm going to sound crazy. Did anyone get like a little bit of Celine Dion from this?
Yes, I sure did.
Okay, thank
In
God.
a
I thought I was
weird
going
way,
to say.
I got a little bit.
I think this is wonderful. I think it's a lovely detailed gown. Once again, necklaces, girls, let's invest in some cheap, let's get some costumes or jewelry. The exposed leg, like, are you kidding me? She looks gorgelina. I don't have like much to say other than like, I really like everything about this. Is it the most amazing look? No. Is it for me, para me, just me, the better of the plain white dresses? Yes.
Another melanated melanin and melanating in all this white is just giving me so much life because it's just popping off the skin. It's just like it's doing what it's supposed to do when you're just that gorgeous chocolate skin just popping off all that white and making it look better, because white on anybody else would have looked so faded. But right now it looks very much like bam. I love the headpiece. Is it a simple white dress? Yes. Does she look beautiful in her simple white dress? Yes. Am I like blown away and like falling all over the place? No. But she looks beautiful in it. Did she have some problems with the train? Yeah, sure. It was she's stepping all over it. But if she would have made it shorter, we'd been like, it's not touching the floor. It's something wrong with it. So you're naked. So I'm not even mad about the stepping on the train. It happens when we wear long gowns. Sometimes we step on our train. It's just it is what it is. But did she pull it off in her walk? Absolutely. She took that thing and swung it around and kept on walking. So I'm like, work. You do what you got to do. I'm not mad at this look.
I don't know. For me, I'm kind of getting a little bit of Princess Tiana wearing a Mama Odie garment.
I can't unsee it. I can't unsee it now. You are right.
That's what it's given. Like Princess Tiana took this from Mama Odie.
Period.
But her skin in this against the white is so great. I like the headpiece, of course. The obvious issue was her train and the fabric wasn't on it correctly. But that would be my only downside. But it's a cute look. She looks good.
Yeah, if I'm comparing the two white looks, since that seems to be what we've been doing, I do, on paper, like this one better. I think it's a little more dragged up. But there are things I had to knock off some points on Mami Watta's look. I don't think her delivery was as good as Keiona's down the runway. And she did get tangled up, which is unfortunate, but I couldn't unsee it. It got stuck in her heel. So she was kind of walking with the train stuck in her heel. It sucks. It was unfortunate. The thing that really took me out was I love the high slit up the leg, but I kept seeing I kept seeing her panty. If you're going to wear this white look, please just put on a white panty. Like, why do you have a black panty on? So that was a little distracting. I do like it. I always love Mami Watta. It wasn't my favorite look for her or week for her on the runway, but she's still great.
I would like to interject quickly and say, David, drag queens don't wear white panties because they do turn beige.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like I just maybe tuck in the panties to where you can't see it. Face card never declines for Mami Watta. The face, honestly, from like boobs up, she looks phenomenal for me. I do think the slit is just a little bit too high, and I think if the slit was a little bit further down, we wouldn't necessarily have that issue of having the panty showing. The train, an unfortunate thing, but I do think, again, going back to one of the things that I've been saying a lot with Drag Race franchises currently, it's just one of those things that you learn as you get a little bit more drag experience. She hasn't been doing drag for that long. So I think that's just one of those things that you learn. You learn how to adapt better in those situations. I think she did the best that she could with what she had on the runway as far as walking and tripping over the train. I don't dislike this look. It's not my favorite thing she's worn.
I think what she could have done to permit, like, if you're gonna put on the black panty, put the black panty on and then put a white panty over the black one, so you're still wearing your black, so you're fully covered, you're full supported, you feel tucked or whatever you have to be, and then just put the white over it because it's going to cover, so people won't see that in the dress, and it looks like a part of the dress, like, oh, that was the whole thing. You can put it on and then it's still a dress. So that could have fixed it too, because sometimes we got to wear two panties. It is what it is. This is life.
Yep. I'm wearing 3 right now.
Oh, period. As you should. Fully support.
Scores for Mami Watta.
This is a confident 80 for me.
I like a confident 80. I do like that. But I will actually give it a confident 80, even more confident 85.
Um, it's a 70.
It's a 62 for me.
It'll be a 66 for me.
David refuses to give anyone a score above 70.
You need to get used to David's scoring
Yes.
system because it's different.
So for me, 100 means this is on par with the best look I've ever seen on Drag Race. So,
And for you, that is?
Shea Coulee's construction look from season 9.
Okay.
That's a 100 for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we kind of talked about the challenge a little bit. I don't know if we want to give brief thoughts on specifically the individual performances, but we did have Punani and Piche as the news anchors, Sara doing the interview, Moon doing the weather, Kitty Space as the QVC person is how I see it. Keiona as the astrologer, Mami Watta as the exercise guru, and then Cookie and Ginger as the chefs.
Logan, did you take these pictures?
I sure did.
Did you just go out of your way to get the worst shot you could of everyone?
I absolutely did.
Because Piche looks like a screaming girl next to Trinity the Turk. And then Punani saying, even if I was Natalie Nunn, you couldn't chin check me.
So the Punani and Piche ones are literally I just want it. But I hate you so much for that.
The only person who got away unscathed here is Keiona, but that is because Keiona, you could take the worst photo from the most unflattering angle of Keiona and she'd still be like.
I thought about pulling the image of Keiona where she's like, and I almost did because some of her faces are just fucking wild.
In terms of actual thoughts about the challenge, I had a wonderful time watching this challenge, even though I think a lot of the humor was lost on me. I thought Ginger was really funny to me, and I thought she kind of got lost in the mix a little bit with a pair being with Cookie. I keep mixing Cookie and Kunty up because they both start with the CK sound. But
You said Cookie and Kunty?
Cookie and Kitty, I'm sorry.
I keep mixing up Cookie and Kunty too, don't
No,
worry.
it's okay because in my notes I'm pretty sure I called Kitty Kunty Space.
Come on, Kunty Space!
That's when Drag Race Mars was being filmed. Yeah, just closing thoughts. I thought I really enjoyed Moon.
Yeah, I'll go quickly. I do want to talk about everybody, but I'll try to make it as quick as possible. So for me, I had 3 tiers. I had a top 4, a middle 3, and a bottom 2.
Jesus.
So for me, the 4 that really stood out and made me laugh a lot were Sara Forever, Moon, Keiona, and Ginger Piche. I thought they were all great. They had really fun. I could not stop laughing every time Sara was like, and just her crawling on the floor. She is so much like Jimbo to me. I could see Jimbo doing that exact thing. Mm-hmm. She was cracking me up. Moon was hilarious with how messy she was, and even the makeup and just everything she did was making me laugh. Of course, Keiona was great. She sounded like me trying to talk about horoscopes. I don't know anything about astrology, but she was like, yeah, the lion's going to do it. I was just cracking up. But I think probably the person who made me laugh the most was Ginger. Every time she went for a swig of that alcohol, it was so funny. I felt Mami was in that second tier, perfectly safe. Nothing she did really stood out to me as being negative or positive. Kind of same with the 2 hosts. I did feel a little bit of desperation at times from why am I forgetting her name? Top middle, which Piche. I was getting a little bit of desperation from her. And then Punani was just getting a little overshadowed. But for me, the clear bottom two was Cookie, who just faded completely into the background. And that's more credit to Ginger, honestly.
Mhm.
And then Kitty Space, her shtick just didn't work. It didn't land, didn't laugh, which was really unfortunate.
Why did she put a croissant in that pit crew man's armpit? No. Lana, go ahead.
I mean, I agree with David. I think the same four for me, the same middle for me, the same bottom for me, for those very reasons. It's like Kitty and Cookie just missed the mark. Completely missed the mark for me. Never laughed, didn't do anything. Ginger had me rolling. I was like, I'm laughing so hard at Ginger at this moment. I feel like Ginger should have won the if they were just judging it based solely on the challenge. Ginger won this hands down because she made me laugh. I mean, Sarah made me laugh too. I thought that was hilarious. That was funny, but that was her. That was her thing. That was her thing, and I was like, but Ginger, just like she would go in, take a swig, come back, and act like nothing happened, but is getting drunker and drunker by the second, and it's just like
the red nose.
The red, it was just so good. I'm like, oh, she's been drinking even before like she was drunk before she started, and now she's continuing to get more and more drunk.
The wine bottle wasn't full when she went to go take that first sip. So.
That's what I'm saying. So I feel like that made me laugh even more because I'm like, oh, I can imagine she was toe up before they even got to this segment. And so now she's continuing to get even more lit and more lit. But, it was just so funny to me. I think for me, I think Ginger won just by the competition alone because she just had me laughing so hard. Not that Sarah didn't, but Sarah had me laughing too. But I think Ginger just did it for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do agree with David and Lana. I kind of do like Piche a little bit more than you guys did. I feel like her facial expressions and the antics she was doing while other people were talking really caught my attention. And I feel like that made her stand out more than
Punani.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Than Punani.
I understand.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna. Ginger, she did a really good job as well. I feel like her drinking bit was really funny. I agree with everything else y'all said. And now that Eris made that comparison to the Natalie Nunn, I can't unsee it. Like I really can't.
I tend to agree with most of the things that have been said. I think I completely agree with you, Lana. My favorite in the challenge, by far, no question, was Ginger. I thought Ginger gave me drunk Julia Child in the best possible way, and that's what I want from that. That's what I wanted from that kind of performance and that character. She really gave. Where is it? Hold on. She did what needed to be done. That challenge, truly and honestly. I think for me, my personal top 3 in the challenge would have been Ginger, Keiona, and I'm gonna be honest, Moon. I thought Moon did and my 4th would be Sarah. But I think Moon did such a good job. The character she was playing, was it, out of her comfort zone? Absolutely not. But I do think she did a very, very good job of playing this Swiss girl that is giving French weather, and like the fact that she was like, the north is cold, no one ever wants to go there. Like everything she did was so succinctly funny. She didn't have a whole lot. She didn't draw out her jokes by any means, but what she said was very, very funny and entertaining for me.
It would have been nice if she could finally get some critiques.
Agree.
They should have at least had a top 4 this week.
I agree. I think for me personally, I would not have put Mami Watta in the bottom. In the bottom 3, I would have put Punani. I don't think Punani stood out at all, and I think Piche overshadowed her. I think Piche did a really good job, but I think Punani completely faded. I couldn't tell you a single thing Punani did that Piche didn't also do. And that's an issue for me. And similarly, I can't tell you a single thing that Cookie did that Ginger also didn't do. So for me, like that's kind of where it's at for me. And then Kitty Space, unfortunately, just was not good.
The thing that Cookie did that Ginger didn't do was stay sober.
True. Until the end. But okay. That's that. We did all of that. So we have a top 3 this week of Sara Forever, Keiona, and Ginger Bitch, aka everyone on Lana's draft team. We'll talk about it. And our challenge winner is Sara Forever.
Which I agreed with personally. I know that Ginger probably made me laugh more, but I just really like the nuances with Sara Forever. She made me laugh. Like, it was almost equal. Plus, I liked her runway better. So I was glad Sara got another win.
I think if you're factoring in runway and challenge, I definitely understand. And I'm not mad in the slightest that Sara won. For me, I would have given it to Ginger.
I also would have given it to Ginger.
Yeah, definitely. We'll give it to Ginger.
The cheese stands alone, I guess.
You do. The cheese stands alone. And it's okay to be cheesy by yourself.
I love
It ain't
It's
gonna
not
go
easy
down
being
easy.
cheesy.
It ain't
It
cheesy.
ain't easy. It don't go down easy if it ain't cheesy, period.
We have not referenced her in a minute, so I feel like it is time to
It is time. Yeah.
Tamara Double Chocolate, please come on the podcast. I would scream.
We love you so
Scream.
much.
Just iconic. We have our bottom 3, Cookie Kunty, Kitty Space, Mami Watta. I would have put Punani instead of Mami Watta.
I don't know. I kind of agreed with the bottom 3, but I thought there was a big gap between Mommy and the other
Oh
two.
yeah.
I thought
do.
it was just the bottom 2, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with the 3. I think those were the weaker 3, but Mami Watta way better than Kitty and Cookie. Period. Like,
Don't you mean Cookie and Kunty?
Cookie and Kunty and Kunty Space. Period.
Kunty Space and Cookie Kitty. Speaking of our bottom 2, Kunty Space and Cookie Kitty.
They could not resist this. You just knew, like, as soon as they had the same outfits, there's no way they couldn't put them in the bottom 2.
Oh no, this is a full out sugar and spice moment. Like,
It was still deserved, though.
I agreed completely. Yeah. This lip sync. Interesting.
I love the song.
The song is great.
And I think every time Cookie, am I talking about the right one? Yes, Cookie. Every time Cookie lip syncs, we actually get to see part of her personality and why she has the reputation that she does. Because for me, she emoted and she delivered this. Kitty, I felt she got a little bit lost in the sauce, unfortunately. Unlike her first lip sync, where I feel like she actually did a lot better. I think she just got on ahead, and I think she resigned herself at this point, which is a shame because I think Kitty had a lot of potential. But yeah, for me, Cookie. Yeah, sorry, I keep checking the names because I'm like, which one am I talking about? Because you've made me all anxious.
Miss Kunty.
Yeah, so Mama Kunty did what needed to be done. She put Kitty straight to bed. For me.
I agree.
I mean, I think they wanted to send Kitty home anyway, and I feel like they wanted to send. I feel like both of them are disposable to them right now. I feel like they could have sent Kitty home, or they could have sent Cookie home, and they would have been fine with either one of them going home. It just so happened. I agree, Kitty got a little lost, but I feel like Cookie is very refined in her lip syncs, and she's very she's going to look at you in the face. She's going to give you eye contact, and she's going to give you the dramatics of what she's singing. And Kitty wanted to be all over the place and dance and do the performing thing. And I feel like Cookie was like, I don't have to do all that. All I got to do is get contact with you and make you look at me, make you Look at me. And she did that. And I feel like, yeah, she did what she did. She did what had to be done. And yeah, right person went home, I think.
The moment Kitty lost it for me is when they do the wide pan shot and they're both spinning in their matching coats, and Kitty just can't get the coat turned in the way that Cookie did. It was just like, it was that really unfortunate moment where it looked like big sister, little sister, and I don't mean that in a demeaning way, but it was just like Kitty could not get that coat around in the way that Cookie did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, I think that Kitty was worse in the challenge and she was worse on the lip sync. Yeah. But I honestly would have rather her stay than Cookie, just because Cookie does not excite me at all. Sure, it's fair that Kitty left, but I don't know. I was really hoping she could pull off something with this lip sync. And also, what I've learned this week twice is maybe I should stop drafting people based on them having really good Instagram looks, because that does not translate necessarily to good performance skills. So,
yeah. Oh, we'll talk. Ugh, I'm very disgusted. We'll talk.
Mr. Talented, anything to say?
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys said. For me, Cookie won the lip sync. The lip sync, it was okay. You know, it was nothing too exciting. It was an okay lip sync, but for me, Cookie won definitely.
It wasn't last week's lip sync where we were like, "Oh my god!"
Right.
We do lose some Kitty space.
No.
Sad times.
Very sad times. But we move next week. Snatch game. Snatch game. I'm excited. I love a good snatch, and I love a good snatch game. So I'm excited to see what these girls bring.
Yeah, and we have some very funny people. Like, they're gonna bring it. I just know it. Sara might get her third win.
I was gonna say, I think Sarah's gonna do well. I think Ginger's gonna do well. I think this is a week where Cookie could really phone it in and bring herself back from this double bottom situation.
That's not phoning it in.
Fuck off. I think she can really succeed. I think Keiona could do really well in this challenge. I think Punani has potential to do well. This is a funny cast, so I think we're gonna see. I think it's gonna be a really good snatch game. So
I have people I'm scared for. But
I have one person I'm scared for specifically, and her name is Mami Watta.
Mami Watta. That is who I'm scared for.
I'm very nervous.
I'm very nervous for her.
Yes. Before we go, we got a draft update.
Yes, let's talk about this draft. Please, let's talk about this draft.
I know Lana wants to talk about this draft. Okay, so in fourth with 0 and 1 team member left is David.
No. I love my team member. I love me some Moon.
It's just Moon.
I think you'll go far with that one. Period.
I hope so. In third with 6 points is me. I'm holding on to my Punani and my Mami Watta, and I'm very nervous for next week.
I can confirm he is holding on to his Punani.
Fuck off. Okay, whatever. In second place with 16 points is Eve.
Wow.
And in a very commanding first place is Lana with 28 points.
Period.
Wow.
I mean, I'm doing way better in this draft than I am going to be doing in the other draft. But it's okay. I still am winning the other one too. But
look,
yeah.
We didn't sign a prenup, so if we ever divorce, I get half of those draft points.
I mean, I talked to my lawyer, so there's a loophole.
Your lawyer is me, so sorry. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us for our coverage of Drag Race France. We will be back next week with some good old snatch game. So you're on YouTube. Do the YouTube things because you're on YouTube. You know how to do them, so do them. Thank you so much for getting us to 500 subscribers. That's a big milestone. Lots of very exciting, wonderful things coming very soon. So Make sure you're subscribing, and also make sure you are following us on social media at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok for all of our funny moments, because we're funny fucking bitches.
Also, follow us on our other channel, The Cup TV, because just all the good stuff you find here that you find hilarious, it's some great stuff on The Cup TV. So you might want to go check us out over there. Yeah, we got 2 channels. That's how we rolling over here. That's how
And
we
I didn't even
it
know.
here, and that's how
More-
we do
more
it.
to come.
More
More
to
to
come,
come.
because that's
So-
how we do it at The Cup. So check us out on not just this Cup channel. Go check us out on The Cup TV, because it's some great stuff over there too. So if you're 500 over here, all 500 of you go join us over there. And so,
Exactly.
period. Do that. Please.
Get
and
your
thank
merch.
you.
Also,
Yeah,
Lana
all
has
of
the
it.
merch up, but get your merch. Link in the description below. And with
We
that
ship
being said,
internationally. We ship internationally.
And tip your local drag queens,
and
Always.
tip your local drag queens.
aka me.
Cheers.
Cheers, y'all.
Or we,
Bye.
sorry.
Cheers.
We're at each other.
We really.
Froms.
God,
Let loose, let loose, let loose.
Froms.
Frogs.